What's going on, YouTube? We got a little something different for you today, so this will be kind of fun. What we're going to show you right now is my 2009 Hayabusa. So I got this brand new back in 2009. I've had it ever since. It's got like 10,000 miles on it. This is just a little toy I have fun with. So our track has been closed for the past, the drag strip has been closed for the past about a year because of the COVID stuff. And it's recently opened back up, so we're gonna get this thing ready to go back to the track, and then hopefully we're gonna go one down the countershaft with the gear tonight, and hopefully take it to the track tomorrow, and then we'll get some video of that and let you know how it goes. But it's been forever since I've drag raced this thing, and it's pretty much set up for that. It's lowered in the front and the rear. It's got a full exhaust, power commander, kill switch, air filter, pretty much all the bolt-ons you can think of for the most part. And
one tooth down on the front sprocket.
right.
So it's smaller, which means it'll accelerate faster.
Right, and with that acceleration, you lose top edge, so it'll top out. It only tops out like 158 with that sprocket on there. Actually took this to the Texas Mile a couple years ago, and that's how I figured that out. That's a whole other story. But anyway, we're getting ready for the quarter now, so we're gonna put it back down to one down on the counter, one too small on the counter shaft, and then a stock size rear gear. And I actually got another one of those that should be lighter than the factory one. That came on there. It's a Vortex stock tooth rear sprocket. We're gonna put that on, like I said, to save a little bit of weight. So we'll throw that on while we're there, and we'll take you through the process of changing out that countershaft gear. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just a couple bolts. It's this cover right here. There's no gasket or anything like that. So we're just gonna pop this arm off. Bolt there. There's one right there. This might have to come off. I don't remember. I've done this once, but it was a couple years ago, so I don't remember exactly. But it wasn't too bad. I actually did it at the Texas Mile next to my truck, so it can be done. The hardest part is just stopping the wheel from turning when you're trying to take that off, because it's on there tight. So I'll show you what we did to do that, and we'll probably put you on a time lapse. And if I need to explain something, then we'll stop it and I'll show you what we're doing. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I hope you guys are too. So let's get to it. All right, so I got these 3 bolts out. This 1, 2, and then 3 right there. Those are 8mm. This little guy right here is a 10mm, this screw. So what this is gonna do is loosen this up off the shaft, because this should just pull right off here. So that's what I'm gonna try and do now. So to allow the cover to come off, so I took a picture of the position it's in right now, so you can put it back the same way. And hopefully this will come out. There we go. So take the screw probably most of the way out. Let that hang down. I can't remember if there's another bolt on here or not, but we'll see. This will come off. All right, guys, we're about ready to pull this cover off. We had to do a little minor adjustment here. After I pulled this off, I took the 3 bolts out I showed you earlier, but there was a 4th one that was kind of like, you can almost see it better through here. You can see my finger right there. Yeah, right there. So in order to do that, I had to take this fairing off, and like I told you before, I didn't think I had to take the fairing off when I did this, so I left it, but apparently I'm gonna have to take it off a little bit. So I ended up taking this fairing bolt off here, the one right there for the plastic, the one on the side, the 2 on the side I think I pointed at, and there's 2 on the bottom, little push pins on the bottom. So I took those off, and I was able to pull the fairing out just enough to get my ratchet in there. This little setup. You can pull it out just enough, you can get the ratchet in there and get that last bolt out. When I get that last bolt out, then as you can see, we're loose right here. So this thing's ready to pop off, so we'll take that off and see. Hopefully there's a sprocket back there. And there it is. So there it is. So what I'm thinking, I believe the hydraulic clutch is hooked up to this thing too, which I'd rather not mess with either. So I'm going to try and do this, kind of leaving this all hooked up, and I'm pretty sure that's the way I did it. So we're just going to try and we just push that away. Like all we have to do is just get a ratchet on that. But so if my memory serves me correct, we had to take this Allen bolt out right here, and then this sprocket, or this bolt, this nut right here, which is a 36mm, and it's in pretty hard. So let me get this little guy out here, and then we'll show you how we're going to get that that big bolt out, that big nut off, I mean. So here we go. All right, so there's that. This little guy should maybe come off. That comes off too, whatever that is. And then, so now we're ready, like I said, for the 36 millimeter. All right, so we're ready to try and get this sprocket off. What I did before when I was at the track, I switched this out. I just put a piece of wood through here. I think it was like a 1x1 piece of wood that went straight through the swing arm on the other side of the swing arm, and that way it stopped the wheel from trying to turn when I was turning on this. Because I was by myself. I've also heard of other people said you can step on the rear brake and do it, but of course, you know, that's not an option when you're by yourself. So now that I got the camera guy here, I think we're going to try that method, because I don't know if I have a piece of wood there enough to go through there now. I thought I did, but apparently I don't. So we're going to try the rear brake method and just kind of see what happens. If it works, good. If not, then I'll, like I said, we'll reassess and go from there. So here we go. Now the breaker bar on the 1/2 inch ratchet with the 36 millimeter. We're going to go for the hope for the best. All right, guys. So nut and washer is off. I guess the rear brake method does work. So slight. What I should have done first actually was, or no, maybe not. You know, I thought I should have taken the wheel off first, but no, because now we got to take the chain off. So we got to basically take the wheel off, get the chain off, and then I can switch that out. And it's pretty easy to take that rear wheel off. It won't take any time, so it's just, I have to cut my safety wire job here, which kind of sucks. Have you guys ever done this? This is a total pain in the ass. It was harder to drill the holes than anything. Actually, conveniently, this is a 36 as well. I usually just take these off, leave them on the same side so I know which way they go back on. For me, the back wheel will have to come off anyway, because like I told you guys, I'm doing that rear sprocket, so either way this thing is going to have to come off. Good to go. So as you can see, to do this sprocket here, just take these nuts off and put the other one on. Pretty easy. So we'll do that here in a second. In the meantime, this front sprocket should be ready to come off as well. All right. Here's the sprocket I was running for the Texas Mile, which is, this is actually the stock size. So this one is a tooth smaller. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller in diameter. So this little small guy is going to give you your acceleration. This is going to give you your top end. So as we're switching to drag race mode, we're going for acceleration as opposed to top end. So just like this one came off, you know, little grooves in there, they just go right on that countershaft and pretty much reverse what you just did. It shouldn't be too bad. I know a lot of people say you need to, you know, when you do your sprockets, you need to do your chain as well. I'm going to forego that step because this bike has only got 10,000 miles on it and the chain looks like it's in good shape, so I'm not too worried about that. But if you have a higher mileage bike, I would probably recommend it, and I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just not going to because like I said, the teeth are still, they're not worn, they're still in good shape, so I'm just gonna rock with those. There it is on there. So now, like I said, it's the same reverse as installation. I'm gonna get this set up here, and I think we're gonna take a little break. Once I get that threaded, we'll get right back with you here. This is again stock tooth count on the rear, and the one that was on there was one down, was a one tooth smaller for top end. So this is the stock one, so we're going stock rear one tooth smaller in the front. So I think we'll probably set you on another time lapse to put this in. It's not that hard. It's just kind of reversing what you did before. So we'll put you guys on a time lapse and then get this jammed in there and keep rolling.
So just explain they're opposite. One down on the rear means higher top speed, correct?
Right, yeah. One's tooth smaller on the rear is a higher top gear or a higher top speed. And if you want even more acceleration, you go, one or two teeth bigger. That's why you see these stunt bikes and the rear sprockets like that big, so you can just pull a wheelie up super easy. But of course, that's not what I'm going for on this. So
Yeah, it's just opposite, front and rear,
yeah,
tooth-wise.
yep.
So yeah, we're not going to go through everything to put it back together except for a 105 torque spec on the nut, correct?
Yeah, torque that to 105.
This nut here for the countershaft.
105 foot-pounds.
Yeah, this guy here needs to go to 105.
And we're gonna do the rear brake deal again with that, so we need to get the rear tire on first, get the chain on everything, and then we'll tighten that up with the chain, work the tire in place so we can hold the brake. That seemed to work pretty good as long as you got two people. All right, guys, so we're finished, man. It's everything's buttoned back up. Like I said, it was pretty much the reverse of taking it off. Torqued down the axle nut here to 43.5 foot-pounds torque. And like I said, the front was 105. So got those both torqued. Started up, went through at least first, oiled the chain and made sure the brakes still work. So everything I think is good to go. So we're gonna head to the track tomorrow and we'll get some video on that. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see how it does.